Hello, I'm Tony Two Shoes and I'm gonna review these shoes and these shoes for all of yous. It's a comparison video. It's finally happening. Me, Tony Two Shoes, is reviewing two shoes. Is this the peak of my existence? Well, guess we'll find out. Anyway, I have here the all-new ASICS Kayano 31 and the New Balance 860 v14. Two great options in the stability category. What's a stability category? Well, the term stability I feel like could be a bit misleading because not everyone can benefit from a stability shoe. In fact, some people wouldn't benefit at all. So everybody pronates. I overpronate. So I have low arches, that part of my foot's very flexible. My heels turn inward. When I'm running, when I land, that arch area and my big toe take the brunt of the impact. Some people who have high arches tend to roll outward, for example, so they supinate or underpronate. And then some people are kind of neutral right down the middle. Pretty boring if you ask me. Now, I have a nice variety of shoes, but overall, I really like a sturdy stability shoe. It just seems to work well with my feet, with my body, and they're just kind of my jam. So if you look at the 860 v13, the previous version of the 860, you'll see that there's something called a post there. So it's really just a more dense piece added to the shoe in the medial part to help reinforce the area that people like me tend to wear quickly. It was discovered that it does give more ankle support and it does ease some of that overpronation, but it didn't really prevent any injury. Also, it added some weight to the shoe and some of these models really weren't that comfortable. But the new 860 from New Balance and the new Kayano from ASICS are two great examples of how to keep a shoe stable while embracing new methods. So let's break these things down. Well, first, let's look at the upper. So the 860 v14 from New Balance. First of all, this is a good looking shoe. I mean, come on. It's got a nice, breathable, structured, synthetic upper. Really locks the whole foot down. Definitely has some elements of an old school stability trainer. It's also just a cool design. It just looks good. Now the upper on the ASICS, it's basically the same upper that you're gonna get from the Gel Nimbus from ASICS. So it's a soft mesh upper. It feels very plush. Personally, I just found it very comfortable. It's got some previous Kayano vibes to it, and I really like this color. ASICS kind of does their own thing when it comes to color, and I feel like it hits every time. This color is called Matcha. Not much I'm gonna say about that. Now for the midsole. The New Balance 860 v14 is using the Fresh Foam X. It's really soft, really bouncy, really responsive. It's just fun to run in. But sandwiched in between the Fresh Foam is where the innovation comes in. So you have this thin but stiff EVA film that wraps around the medial side of the shoe all the way around to the heel. This is replacing the post entirely. That really helps stabilize and cradle the foot, and it's a really nice complement to the softness of the Fresh Foam. You're really getting just best of both worlds with this shoe. Now the Kayano 31 from ASICS does stability differently. So the foam here is Flight Foam Blast Plus Eco, which is 24% bio-based and 100%, a lot of words. It's also a bit on the softer side, but somehow still feels sturdy. I mean, I prefer a firmer foam, it's a real tongue twister, but this just felt really nice. Now at the heel, you've got Pure Gel. They've hidden it in there, but they keep their signature gel, but it's really just like a new gel. It's like a hair product, right? Like, hey, Kayano, you look different. Hey, it's a new gel. Kayano Reeves. Okay. Please keep Kayano Reeves. Now for the stability. What ASICS is using is a 4D guidance system. It sounds awesome, and it is. ASICS is going with more of an adaptive stability. So you got these flare outs in the foam, more noticeable and structured at the heel, really beveled in the back. It's just really a very nice controlled landing. You also have what ASICS is calling a recovery pod. It's not a post, it's just another part of the shoe that's there if you need it. So it really helps balance and control the landing. Really helps to stabilize. Now for the ride, you've got two different rides here. The 860, I'd say, is a bit of a snappier ride. I definitely felt and appreciated the support when I needed it. So that was really enjoyable. I'd say all in all, the stability feels more reactive and gives the impression of a posted trainer, but it's not as aggressive, it's not as noticeable. Now, whereas the 860 felt reactive, the Kayano 31 feels more preventative and guided. It really places the foot in a more neutral path and felt reminiscent to that of, like, say, the Kayano 29, which I still really love. Now, I felt like I could pick it up easier in the 860, and although the Kayano felt heavier and actually isn't, I preferred this one for my longer runs. Now, for the weight, the New Balance 860 v14 comes in weighing at 10.8 ounces in the men's, 8.6 in the women's. The Kayano 31 comes weighing in at 10.8 for the men's and 9.3 in the women's. The 860, you got 29 millimeters at the heel, 21 at the forefoot, so that's an 8 millimeter drop. For the Kayano, you got men's 40 millimeters at the heel, 30 at the forefoot. For the women's, you got 39, 29. So you got a 10 mil drop in the Kayano. So Kayano's keeping a high drop in the shoe, which is kind of interesting because we're seeing a lot of stability shoes tend to go on the lower side. Most ASICs are already at 8 mil, but I appreciate that they kept it at 10 because this makes it feel more Kayano-y. Price-wise, for the New Balance 860, you've got 140 smackers, so that's basically your average price of a daily trainer. And for the Kayano 31, it's 165, which is basically how much a high max cushion trainer costs anyway. So pretty much in line there. Oh, and the bottom, the rubber. Not much to say, it's placed in all the right places. ASICS actually is using their hybrid ASICS grip, so it seems like it's a proprietary rubber to them, but all in all, good stuff. Protective, durable, these are gonna last. If you've enjoyed the previous models of either shoe, it's very likely that you'll enjoy these. I really enjoyed running in these shoes a lot. I really appreciate that they both maintain a classic stability shoe experience with a more pleasant method of support. If you've enjoyed previous models, there's a good chance you're gonna like these. Also, one thing with the Kayano, it's basically a similar update to the previous version, the 30, but for some reason, this just felt more like an older school Kayano. I don't know why, I don't know, not much really changed. It just felt more Kayano-y. New Balance and ASICS, these last few years have been crushing. Now, they've always made reliable shoes, but honestly, the lineup has been kind of stale until the last few years. These shoes are giving you a great example of new technology, durability, and it really shows that these two brands are the real deal and deserve to be toward the top. So lastly, in case it's not obvious, I give the ASICS Gel Kayano 31 and the New Balance 860 v14 each 2 shoes up. I'm Tony with Fleet Feet, shop local, run together.